Hopefully everyone can hear me. Thank you for coming along. My name's Kylie Clarkson. I am from the Teaching and Research Support Team here at the library. I'm joined today by Ben Burke, who is going to be moderating for me. So if you have any questions that occur to you as I'm going through some of the content, put them in the chat and Ben will either answer them himself or he'll wait until there's a kind of organic moment to stop me and I will present it. A little bit more housekeeping though. If I go too quickly or if you think that you would like me to go through something again and there is time, I'm more than happy to do that again at the end of the session. But this is being recorded, so you will be sent a recording of the webinar as long as you've registered. And they do also go up on our website, and Ben's going to put a link to the page where they go up, so you can always access them at a later date there as well. Okay. And I'm going to kick off. So I'm going to share my screen and that's the wrong one, I think. Ben, are you looking at, which screen are you looking at the moment?
The PowerPoint.
Excellent. Then it's the right one. So again, thank you all for coming along today. Before I begin, I'd really like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands within the university's footprint areas. So they are the Awabakal, Darkinjung, Biripi, Warramai, Wonnarua, and the Eora nations. And I'd also like to pay my respect to the wisdom of our elders, past and present. Okay, so thank you so much for coming along to today's advanced database searching session. Very exciting. I've been looking forward to this for a long time now. So in this session today, we're going to cover quite a lot. So hopefully I get through everything. I'm going to do a very quick sort of revision of Boolean operators. So hopefully you all know about the Boolean operators because these are some advanced-ish techniques. Boolean operators are kind of the fundamentals of database searching. I'm going to look at proximity searching, which is a really great tool to make sure that you're getting the best results that you possibly can. Field searching, I'm going to look at using a thesaurus and citation databases. And then lastly, we always end by looking at where to find help when you need it, because obviously once we finish this, that's not the end of the journey. You can still reach us if you have any questions. So the Boolean operators, I really hope that this is very familiar to everybody, but I'm going to go over it right now anyway. So the Boolean operators are ways of combining your searches or your search terms, and they revolve around three different terms. There is the and, the or, and the not. Now, if you have a look at these examples that are here, you'll see and. If we've got peanut butter and Vegemite, we're looking for all of the results that return with both of those terms in it. So what that does is it narrows down your results. You're not going to get ones that have peanut butter in them but don't also have Vegemite, okay? So and is really useful for narrowing your results. Or on the other hand, is a way of saying, I want the results that have peanut butter in them or the results that have Vegemite in them. I don't mind one or the other or both of them, okay? So or is used to expand your results, okay? And then we have not. Now, not is to be used very carefully because you might want results that are, you might want literature about peanut butter, but you're getting so much stuff that is also, that is specifically about Vegemite as well. So you might look for peanut butter, not Vegemite, okay? And it's going to weed out all of those ones that have Vegemite in them. But the thing is, it's also going to weed out those ones that have both of them in it, okay? So there might be ones that really great literature out there about peanut butter that happens to casually say, oh, and Vegemite's rubbish, so really peanut butter's where it's at. And it's going to get rid of those as well. So I would be very, very, very careful when using not, and to be perfectly honest, there's not a lot of circumstances where it's really really that valuable. So pay attention to and or, and use not sparingly. Okay, so hopefully everyone has that in their brain going forward. We're going to get straight in now and actually do some searches, because it's going to be the best way to demonstrate these particular tools that we're looking at. So what I'm going to do now is go over into, this is the library webpage. Hopefully it's very familiar to you all. If you don't know how to navigate to it, all of the university pages have this hamburger menu. You can click on it and it has a link here that says library. So that will bring you to this page. Now, if you scroll down under access, there is this link which says databases by title. Okay. I'm going to search predominantly in two different platforms today, because they cover most of the very big portion of our collections. So the first one that I'm going to search in is Academic Search Ultimate. Now, if you want to actually drill down by your discipline, you can do that using this drop down here. If you're looking for a particular type of database, so you might want a, for example, a multimedia database or a newspaper database, then you can do that there as well. Academic Search Ultimate is an EBSCOhost database, and it's really, it's very broad, it's multidisciplinary, so it's going to be really useful for covering a lot of ground today. And the first thing that I want to get you to start doing or think about doing is to use the terms in your searches and do the actual searching term by term. And there's a reason for that. So what I mean is, for example, today I'm going to begin by looking for some literature on internet advertising, or advertising that's on the internet. So what I might do is I'm going to begin by typing in internet into this search here and hitting search. And you'll see it's thinking. Okay, so I've got 575,000 results here. It's telling me that there are 575,000 articles in this particular package that have the word internet somewhere in them, okay? I'm also looking for advertising. So I'm going to run this as a separate search. I'll click search. Okay. Now there are 218,387 that are showing. You'll see here under this search history, what that's done is it's shown me these two searches that I've done, okay? And you'll see that I have the results over here as well. The reason that it's really good to do this with your individual terms is that I can now go and combine these two searches. Okay, now if you remember back over to our Boolean operators, I want to combine them with and, because I want all of the results that have both of those terms in there. Okay, so I'm going to search with and. Okay, I've accidentally clicked that twice. And what this has done is it's given me the subset of those results that has both of those in there. The reason it's good to do it separately like this rather than in one big hit is because sometimes you will have multiple terms and you will put in all of them separately, and then you'll put in all of them together, I mean, and on that top search. And then you might get 0 results. And there won't be any real way of telling why you got 0 results. But if I looked at this and saw, okay, advertising gave me 0, this one gave me however many, then that would tell me, okay, the problem with my search is with the advertising part of it. So I need to think about different terms there, okay? So whenever you can, it's really valuable to separate it out into these different searches and then combine them. Most databases have this option. The 2 that we'll be using today certainly do, not all of them do. So sometimes you really do have to just go about your normal way of searching, okay? Now, you'll see, as before I said, we had 219,000 here, 575,000 here. And so when we combined them, we got this 26,000. Okay, so that's telling me I've received 26,000 hits that are including the word internet and including the word advertising, right? But it doesn't actually tell me whether or not the articles are about internet advertising. Okay, so it could be that, you know, it's one of these might say, since the wake of the internet, there have been thousands and thousands % increase in television advertising or something like that, right? So it could be about advertising, but it's really, really distantly related to internet. There are a few ways that you can really make sure that you're keeping these terms related to one another. Now, you're probably aware of this one here. Okay, so if I put this in inverted commas, okay, then and search, what that's going to do is it's going to return all of those results that have the words internet advertising. So directly related like that, specifically right next to each other in that order, okay? So that's 9,000 odd. So, and you'll see here we are, internet advertising. This is going to be specifically about internet advertising. And that's really great for weeding down those results. But if you're trying to make sure that you are doing a really thorough search and getting all of those results that are out there, you're going to be missing ones that say things like advertising on the internet or using the internet for advertising, or because it's only giving you those exact phrases. And so if you think about and as giving you 24,000, that's just, they can be entirely non-related. Quotations giving you this 9,000, they have to be right next to each other. There is a way of bridging that gap. And the way of bridging that gap is something called a proximity operator. Every database has its own proximity operator. The way you go about it is going to the help way of going about finding what that is to go to the help menu, and you will see, once it's opened up, that in these, usually in under searching, there'll be something here. Oh, here it is. It says proximity searches. And it's going to tell me what this operator is. It's called the near operator. So it's the letter N, okay? Now, hold that in your brain, this letter N. What this looks like is if I type the word internet now and think about all of the different ways that I might phrase internet advertising, advertising on the internet, advertising using the internet, etc., internet and advertising, I'm going to type in this proximity indicator and I'm going to go 5. What this is saying is I want all of the results that have the word internet within the word, within 5 words in any order of the word advertising. So obviously, if you're thinking about these as being an exact quotation, and this is being them as far away as they like, you're going to get somewhere between this 9,000 and 26,000 to do it this way, okay? So if I hit search now, let's see how many we get. Come on. It's thinking. Okay. So I've received 10,655 results. Okay. So as we expected, slightly more than this and still less than that. That's proximity indicators. If you, this number, this n doesn't have to be 5. Obviously, if you go n2, that's getting within 2 words is getting quite close to an actual phrase search. Whereas if you go n50, that's getting quite close to just being a keyword search. Were there any questions about that, Ben?
Not so far.
All right, we're tracking okay then. What I would also like to encourage you to start doing is being a bit strategic with where you are searching for these results. So if we think about what I'm actually looking at here is 10,655 results that have internet and advertising within 5 words of each other, okay? But that's anywhere in the articles. So you could be looking for, you could be getting results that are about, oh gosh, anything, television marketing, for example. But then somewhere in that, they are casually mentioning internet and advertising together. So it's not necessarily saying that these articles are going to be about internet advertising. So what we can do is we can be kind of strategic with where we are searching in the article. Now, if I go again in 5, advertising, I can change here where it is that I'm searching. Now, you'll all be familiar with things like searching for the author fields, you know, specifically in the title. Now, if I was to look for it in the title, for example, if something has internet and advertising in the actual title, I might do it just, I haven't tested this, then there is a very good chance that it's going to be quite specifically about that, because obviously, come on. So there are 140 results, but if someone has actually deemed it relevant enough to put in the title, then there is a very good sign that it's going to be an important part of the article. The problem is, as many of you will know, that some people have some incredibly bizarre titles for their research that, you know, might be a bit quirky or interesting and won't necessarily return a result like internet advertising. So I'm going to do this same search again, internet advertising. That is not how you spell that word. And I'm going to instead search in the abstract, okay? So the abstract, you will probably know, is the kind of opening part of a journal article. And it's a really condensed sort of synopsis of everything in the article, including the conclusions drawn, the methodologies used, absolutely everything. So what that means is that there's not an awful lot of fluff in it, okay? So if I'm looking for internet advertising and it's actually being mentioned in the abstract, there is a far better chance that it is going to be an important concept in the actual article, okay? And you'll see that's got us down to 4,288. And again, that is absolutely the case. You know, it talks about internet and advertisement. So it's a bit, it uses a bit of fluffy, fuzzy searching, EBSCO. So it's not necessarily saying it has to be exactly the word advertising. It's picked up on advertisement there, which is really great of it. So any questions about that?
Yes. So Felicity wants to know, in EBSCO host, is there a way to use a few of these at the same time? For example, title, abstract, or keyword?
Absolutely. So you can put as many of them as you like on different lines. So I might say that I want it to use, I'm going to specifically look for the word internet in the title, and I want it to have the word Australia, for example, in the abstract. So in that same kind of way, if I'm including Australia in the abstract, then it's going to be an article about Australia. Australia is going to feature heavily in it, and I might also include advertising in the abstract. Let's do that. And so if we run that search, you'll notice that I've combined all of those with and over here. So each separate line, you can choose one of those Boolean operators again. So this search has come down here. Wait, no, that's still the same one from before. Now it's come down here. I've got 10 results, okay? So sun protection over the internet. So that's internet advertising in Australia about sun cancer, skin cancer, I should say, or sun protection. So yeah, does that answer your question, Felicity? I hope it does. We're all good otherwise? All right.
Yes.
Happy days. We're going like wildfire then. The other thing that I would mention is that if you see something that is really, really brilliant, it's worth having a look at these subject terms that are down there. I might just go back to my previous search, the one that I was doing. So you can access them all over from this this search terms, search history as well. Excuse me. If I go back to that search that I was in, and have a look at these subjects, you'll see that internet advertising is actually a subject heading in here. So I can also search for internet advertising as a subject. Now, it will give us a lot, though, because it's not necessarily, it is anything that someone has actually tagged with internet advertising, if that makes sense. It doesn't necessarily have to have the word internet advertising in the article itself. It's about what has actually been applied in the metadata of it. So it could still be quite a big search. Let's have a look. Come on.
We have another question.
Yep, while that's loading.
Waiting.
Yep.
So Karen wants to know, within all the search results, can I go back and do a search within the found results without losing the info?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, and you'll see that one that I've just done, sorry, has brought us 8,500. So that's a subject search. If I want to now go and edit one of the searches that I've done. So see this one here where I did internet advertising in the abstract. I can view those results and, you know, I could say I wanted to include Australia in the abstract for it. What I would do is I would add Australia as a search term here. I'll just, come on. And then I would combine them by ticking S8 here, ticking S13, and then searching with and. Okay, so you can do it that way. Alternatively, you can also, I accidentally searched that just then, so it's going to load. You can also go over here and you can edit the search. And what that's going to let me do, let's have a look at what that does, is it brings up those terms. So I can add extra terms in here as well. You need to have a bit of an understanding about things like Boolean logic to be able to do it this way though. So I would sooner just add in the actual terms here and go that way. Okay. Any other questions?
All good for the moment.
All right. I'm going to now then step out of EBSCO because I want to make sure that you get a chance to have a look at a different platform. And I'm going to go into this one here, which is called ERIC. ERIC stands for Educational something. I can never remember off the top of my head. And it is a ProQuest platform. So as in it's hosted by ProQuest. ProQuest is a really common database platform that we have here at the university as well. So if you are looking at EBSCOhost and ProQuest and getting your, oh gosh, excuse me for a moment, getting your head around those two, then you're across the bulk of our collection, really, which is really, really great. Come on. Okay. Now, you can do the same sort of search that we did before. So I can go, in this particular instance, I'm going to search for, where did that go? Excuse me. I'm going to search for music therapy. Okay, so we've got 588 results about music therapy. Now keep in mind, this is specifically an education database. So these are going to be a lot more specific to a particular discipline. I'm also going to type in ADHD. So I'm looking for information about music therapy relating to ADHD. I don't know why that's doing that. And let's see what we get. So we get 3,750 results about ADHD, okay? I can go here in the exact same way to the recent searches option. And you'll see I've got my recent searches here. It's a little bit different in ProQuest. So it's telling me the way to combine it is by using the number. So I want 1 and 2, and this is going to give me all of the results that have music therapy and ADHD. Okay, so I've got 8 results, and that looks really good actually. You know, these look like 8 good results, but if I don't exactly know what it is that I want for my assignment yet, or if I want it to be broader than this, or I'm worried that I'm going to be missing out on stuff, there is a really great technique that we can use called thesaurus searching. And now Eric has a really great one, a really great thesaurus. Health databases use this a lot as well, but I specifically chose not to use a health database for this demonstration because they have a lot of jargonistic terms in them. So if you want to access the thesaurus, and I'll explain what a thesaurus is as we're actually using it. You can go to this advanced search and hit thesaurus, okay? Now, for some reason, for me, this never opens up just the way that I actually want it to. If I can type in ADHD here, you'll see this here, it says contains words. A thesaurus is what's called a controlled vocabulary, and it is a set of terms that have actually been agreed upon as in developed by the people in who run the actual platform, right? So it means that things like synonyms, those kind, like for example, ADHD is also known as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. They have agreed upon this controlled vocabulary where they will determine that for a particular term, we are going to tag all the research that there is with this other particular with this particular term. Now you'll see here, I've run that search and it's come up here saying ADHD. So I'm going to click on that and see what it's telling me about this term. It says use for ADHD. So instead of using ADHD, I'm going to use attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Although this is also brought to my attention, all of these terms sit in a kind of hierarchy, right? So a broader term is attention deficit disorders, and ADHD or ADHD falls under attention deficit disorders. So this will get you thinking, oh gosh, do I actually care if it's ADHD, or am I thinking about attention deficit disorders in general? Okay, well, I can click on this here and see where it sits in the hierarchy. So then to click on that one, it has a broader term of disabilities. The narrower term is attention deficit hyperactivity. Disabilities is far too broad. I don't want that. ADHD, I think actually might be too specific for my search. So I'm going to click on attention deficit disorders as well instead. Now you'll see over here, there are two options. One says explode, which is actually this here. One says major. Major means you're looking for that as an actual major subject term. I'm not going to use that in this particular instance. I'm going to focus on explode. And explode will mean that I'm going to get results that have been tagged with attention deficit disorders, but also tagged with anything that falls under attention deficit disorders in that hierarchy. So things like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, anything else that might have come further down the chain as well. Okay. And I'm going to go add to search. All right. Now let's have a look what that does. Okay, so you'll see that it's put this in here as this search term. Ignore that music therapy. We can do music therapy as a keyword search and then combine it using and this term here with that actual thesaurus search, but I don't want to. I want to do music therapy as a thesaurus search as well. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to type in music therapy and see whether or not music therapy itself is a subject term in the thesaurus. See how it has the explode major options there already? That means it actually is a term that you can click on. I'm still interested to see where it sits in the hierarchy though. And it's always really valuable to click on it because it might give you really useful ideas about other things for your assignment that you hadn't thought about. So music therapy sits under the broader terms of therapy. I'm just going to click on therapy and see what music therapy sits in with. Okay, so under therapy, we have, oh, art therapy. See that? I might think to myself, maybe I don't only care about music therapy. I'm going to include art therapy as well. And I'm going to include music therapy, and are any of these, I'll include speech therapy as an example. So if I go here, I should have just exploded all of them. So, because again, I want everything that falls under them. I can't for some reason, excuse me. And I'm going to add these, see here where it says combine using or. I want art therapy or music therapy or speech therapy. So I'm going to combine those using or and add them to the search. And then you'll see that it's brought that over. I've got those all combined using or. And then I want to search for this because I want those particular therapy types and attention deficit disorder. So it's going to be about those treatments or those therapies for attention deficit disorders. Okay. And here you'll see the sorts of results that we get. Now, this is a very, very quick run through of what they actually look like. So just go away. So it's, you sometimes need to, it's a bit of an iterative process. You'll need to really tweak it to get exactly what it is that you're after. But using the thesaurus terms can be a really great way of making sure that you're getting all of those results that you might not get if you just use free text, for example. How are we going, Ben?
All good so far.
Okay. Now, the last thing I want to show you before we finish up, though, is a citation database. And a citation database is really important. Citation databases are really useful if you find, they're kind of a little sneaky librarian trick. If you find the perfect article and yet can't really, can't find anything else that really suits that one, that is as good as that one. So for example, if we look at this one here, which is called Quenching a Desire for Power, the Role of Music Therapy for Adolescents with ADHD, that's so perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for with my search, right? What we can do is we can come over to our A to Z databases. I can choose, do we have, I want to go all databases. I need to clear, excuse me. If I go, okay, go to the letter S, because I know the one that I want, which is one called Scopus. Now, Scopus is a really good multidisciplinary citation database. So we're going to scroll down and find Scopus here. Oh, please load. Oh, you're such a jerk. Bear with me, guys. We'll get it in just a moment. I'm using the Wi-Fi for this presentation, and it is always a bit of a risk, but it's done well. So. Okay. Here we go. It looks like it's about to load. At the very least, it's come up in the top here. So this is Scopus. And you'll see that it comes up talking about documents, authors, affiliations. Come on, where is the actual search box? Just load. What's what Scopus and other citation databases do is they're not a database per se in that they don't actually have the full text of articles stored in them. What they instead have is the citations themselves. So you won't get full text out of Scopus, but it will provide you links to full text. I'm going to go here to search documents. You'll see that I'm looking for the article title, and I'm going to type in the name of that one from before, which was Quenching a Desire for Power, the Role of Music Therapy for, hopefully that's enough. It was for adolescents with ADHD. So let's have a look. Now, what's sneaky about this, and it's not sneaky, it's really useful. If you found one article and it's just absolutely perfect, there is a very good chance that every piece of literature, like if it really, really suits what it is that you're writing about, you can go to something like this and find all of the other examples of other pieces of work that cite that particular article. Now, if I click on this, anything else that is using that particular article as a reference, there's a very good chance that they're going to be about really, really similar topics, or that they're also going to be really, really useful for your work. Okay, so now if we have a look, ADD Venturous Rhythmical Planet, a 3D rhythm-based game for children with ADHD, you can see that these articles, which are all citing that previous one, are about really similar topics. So there's a lot of value in going this way. So this is tracing those citations in one direction. You know, this is anyone who has actually used that piece of work. To go back, hopefully it's going to let me go back. We can also go into this one here, and it will display for us the references that they have used. So where was the reference list here? Where is it? Oh, view references. So this one itself has 34 references. Now, the only thing to keep in mind is this was published in 2009. So all of the references that it uses have to be older than 2009. And so it can be a bit tricky to find stuff that is current by tracking the references that way. It's usually better to go things that have cited this particular work. And then the last really useful way of tracking using the references in a citation database is this here link, which says related documents. If I click on this related documents, it's going to tell me, it's going to give me a list of documents that have, that share references with this particular one. Now, obviously, if these other articles have the same reference list as this one, then there is a very good chance that they're going to be about similar content. Okay, so if it's not loading quite as quickly as we need it to. So that's what that looks like. It's saying that there are 69,653 documents that share references with that other one, but it's going to give you, I think it looks like it's going by the most related, hopefully. Yeah, sort by relevance. So you can, these ones will have the most in common down to the least in common as far as those references go. Are there any questions about the citation databases, Ben?
No.
Okay, this is very surprising to me. Now, if I can go back over to I skipped a slide, excuse me. This is back where I was talking about the proximity searching, just to say what the different terms mean. And that's all that I actually wanted to cover in here. So what I should have said was on our library page, we have an Ask the Library tab. Excuse me. We have a really amazing chat service. If you have any questions that you need sort of immediate help with, get in touch with us using Library Chat. It's an amazing service. You can email us questions. There is also an option to book a librarian. So where does the book a librarian sit? Here, the link to book a librarian. And that'll allow you to book a half an hour session with one of the librarians here at the library. There's no expectation that you need to that you have retained all of this. I get that that was a very quick run through of some great techniques. So if anything hasn't cemented, or if you want some more advice about any of it, book some time, come and talk to us. We are happy to help. Live chat, there is an SMS function. You can email us as well. Now, don't forget as well that there are actually more webinars to come to. So make sure that you get in there and book for the ones that are coming up. And keep an eye out, because this one will be sent to you in your email, using the email that you actually registered using. And it will also go on the website with the link that Ben has given you. So I'm going to stop sharing now. If there were there any other questions, Ben? Anything come through? I'm just looking.
Just reading.
So no, you don't have to sign in at all. Totally fine. Anyone who registered for this will receive the recording sent to them via the email that you used for the registration. A lot of info, I know, Pamela. Also, I should say that you may receive a survey about the session. Please give us any feedback, including please cover this or this or this next time, or Kylie, you spoke way too fast, or can you fix the connectivity? Whatever you like. We really appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, Kylie wanted us to revisit the first search thing, but I guess I would suggest rewatching the recording, and then if you have any questions, book a librarian, and we can break it down further for you that way.
Yeah, it'll come to you and you can watch it there. But as Ben said, because this has taken a decent amount of time, we are happy to sit down and go over it with you one-on-one, just book in your thing. And that's not just face-to-face, you can do it online as well. Yeah, relevance can be really tricky, Pamela. It's hard work getting those terms exactly right, for sure. So definitely, once you've got your assignment and you've done some searching, if you hit a wall, can't find exactly what it is that you're after, then book time with us. Absolutely, book a librarian. Did you see the link to the book a librarian, Pamela? Are you familiar with the service?
I'll pop it in the
excellent. Chat. Thanks, Ben. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming along. I am going to sign off now. Always lovely to talk databases with people. So come along to the next one. Next week's is on literature reviews, I believe. Is that right, Ben?
That is right. Yep.
Okay. Great. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.